Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Youthman. In this video, I'll be sharing my final review of the Parasound Halo Integrated Amplifier, otherwise known as the HINT6. Now, if you haven't seen it already, I definitely encourage you to go check out the previous video that I did on the unboxing and overview video I made on the HINT6, because I went into great detail on its features as well as some of the specs that I probably won't cover in this video. But before we get into the video, if you're into home theater audio and video, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified when the next video drops. Alright guys, well, since 1981, Parasound has been known as a company that prides itself in providing exceptional audiophile components with incredible build quality. And over the past year, I had the opportunity of reviewing two of Parasound Halo products. It was the A52 Plus as well as the Zone Master 2350, and they both lived up to that high standard that you could expect from Parasound products. So when I had the opportunity to review their newly released HINT6, needless to say, I was excited. So with the HINT6, Parasound has taken their P6 preamp with the ESS Sabre 32 reference DAC, and they've combined that with the mighty A23 Plus under a single chassis. Now, just like most Parasound Halo units, the HINT6 is really a sight of beauty as well as design. From that gorgeous front aluminum faceplate, the gold accents throughout the unit, as well as the blue indicators, you'll want to keep the HINT6 out in the open for everyone to see. Now, I've had the HINT6 paired with my Klipsch RF7 3s in my 2-channel setup for the past few months, and I can definitely tell you that it is everything that I hoped it would be and more. Now, most of the time I tend to kind of listen to music around about, say, 80 to maybe 85 decibels, but often I find myself wanting to crank it up a little bit. Now, although my RF7 3s are efficient, they have some impedance dips around about 4 ohms, I believe, which can definitely put a lot of stress on a receiver's power supply. So I was really curious to see if the HINT6 would provide that same dynamics and power that my Acurus A200, which is a 200 by 2 amp, that it provides. I found that no matter how hard I drove the HINT6, it handled the music with precision as well as accuracy, and it never once sounded strained or harsh. Now, that likely has a lot to do with the HINT6 having a beefy power supply that can provide 160 watts per channel at 8 ohms and 240 watts into 4 ohms, and it uses the power amp circuit topography designed by the legendary John Curl. It easily pushed my 4 10-inch woofers that are in my RF7 3s with authority as well as control. When I was listening to You're My Everything by Seawind, man, the HINT6 just made me feel like that I had that band sitting directly in front of me. Every pluck of the bass, the guitar was thick, and when the horns kicked in, oh yeah, that was incredibly beautiful. I could easily just sit there and listen to that saxophone from Boney James, The Sweet Thing. Man, I could listen to that all day long with the HINT6. Each note seemed to be handled very delicately and accurately without coloring the sound in any way, shape, or form. One of the great features of the HINT6 is the ability to add 1 or even more subs using the sub outs as well as the built-in variable low-pass crossover. The HINT6 also has a handy sub level on the front of the unit to help you easily balance out the system. I found the turn-on volume to be super handy, and the new and improved volume control, which features a Burr Brown electrically controlled analog resistor ladder, to be buttery smooth. And with the ability to adjust the volume from 1 all the way up to 99, you've got plenty of room for getting that absolute precise volume that you desire. And once you find that sweet spot, you can always save and even recall that using the volume memory. There's a button right on the remote that allows you to store that so you can easily recall that anytime you want. Now, speaking of the remote, I found the remote to be very simple in design, and I really like the backlit buttons. Now, that's a really nice handy feature, especially if you're looking at the buttons in the dark, but it's definitely not a fancy remote. But then again, when you're listening to music, are you really worried about how the remote feels or looks? On the rear of the unit, the HINT6 has a plethora of analog inputs as well as 4 digital inputs. And for those of you that prefer to use balanced XLR interconnects, the HINT6 has XLR inputs as well as balanced pre-out and sub-out. Now, if you don't have the ability to have a separate 2-channel setup as well as a theater room, there's a great feature called a theater bypass. Now that's really cool because it allows you to easily integrate the HINT6 with your home theater receiver. Now, over the past few months, I've really enjoyed my time with the HINT6. It's an incredibly beautiful unit, sounds fantastic, love the volume control on it and the features to be able to store those presets for the start on as well as your memory volume. It's just a great unit. The only downside I could see, well actually I guess 2 downsides. Number 1 is the cost. It's $29.95 retail, so it's definitely not cheap, but I believe it'd be difficult to find another high-end integrated amplifier with this feature set, that type of sound quality, as well as durability. So if you're looking for an integrated amplifier around that $3,000 mark, I would highly recommend the Parasound HINT6 for your consideration. Alright guys, well that's going to wrap up this review of the Parasound HINT6. Now, I definitely recommend that you go check out the previous video if you haven't seen it already on my unboxing as well as the overview video, because in that video I really went into a lot of detail on the HINT6 as far as its specs and features. And so if you want to check that out, I'll post a link to it right up here in the card above as well as in the description below. And as always, you guys be blessed, and we'll catch you in the next video.